Hello folks, I hope you're all doing very well. In this video today, I'm going to reveal the prices of the Somnium VR1. There's actually, 8 different versions of this headset. I'm also going to give you my personal opinion on the prices and which version that you probably should get if you're thinking about the VR1. Now, you may have seen all of my Somnium VR1 content on the channel, and if you haven't seen most of that, I'll have a full list in my description. But let's get straight into it. So the first version of this headset is the standard edition VR1, and with that you get nothing other than those incredible visuals. Now, in case you've forgotten, I have said that the visuals in the Somnium VR1 in terms of clarity, it's the best I've ever seen from a consumer grade headset. That is still true, it really is. And in terms of thinking of the 35 ppd crowd, that is the Vario Aero, Pimax Crystal, even the Vario XR4 when using its maximum ppd in Microsoft Flight Simulator, which is 35 ppd, it's even sharper than that. It really is. So it is a phenomenal image, and you're getting that for $1,899. Now, we already know that price. However, we've now got the prices of all the other editions. I'm not going to go into all of them because I will be here all night. But what I will do is go through the, 2 versions, perhaps 3, that I would recommend. So these are the prices of the different Somnium VR1s, and as you can see, it's pretty damn expensive. There's no doubt about that. And I'll just quickly go through the version that I would recommend if you are thinking of getting a Somnium VR1. Well, particularly for flight simulation, if you really can live without that mixed reality pass-through, then the Visionary Edition seems to make the most sense because you get the eye tracking, which, as you've seen from DCS World, with DFR support can make a really big difference. And say you're going to be using the headset for 3+ years, I do feel eye tracking is essential as dynamic foveated rendering becomes more mainstream. It really does help with performance. Now, the hand tracking in the headset is very, very impressive, but in terms of this channel's focus, that is flight simulation, there isn't really that many flight sims out there that utilize it right now, so I'm not sure about that one. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Right, Future Steve, over and out. Yes, that's right folks, this is an expensive headset, okay? And I don't think, to be honest, most people who are thinking or have bought a Pimax Crystal, for instance, I don't think that's the audience of this headset anyway. I think the people looking at this headset are people who are probably looking at upgrading their Vario XR3, for instance, or thinking about getting an XR4, because this is premium VR at its finest. This is exclusivity at its finest. This headset doesn't pull any punches. It's aiming to be the best VR headset in the world, quite honestly, especially for the consumer market. So we have to put this into context. Right then, so the next version, and I'm looking again here, Spectre Edition. That is basically, you get mixed reality and you get hand tracking, but you don't get eye tracking. Right, fair enough. Well, I wouldn't recommend that, quite honestly. I don't think that's wise, because I do think eye tracking is more important than hand tracking, especially for performance, so we're not going to really talk about that one. Or the Ultimate Edition, which is the one I'm using right now, funny enough, and that is €3,499 euros excluding taxes. So to put that into perspective, with VAT, that's going to be about £4,200, which suddenly creeps into the Vario XR4 money. Interesting. That is interesting. Now, of course, I haven't given you my thoughts yet on the Vario XR4 versus the Somnium VR1, and it pains me that I haven't done that yet. I'm sorry guys, but to be honest, I can't truly do that video until I get the final production unit. Now admittedly, this version is quite close to final, but there's just a few issues that really bother me. That is the comfort, because as you can see here I'm using an Apache strap, which makes a big difference, this headset by the way. I can fly with it for at least an hour or so before it starts to get uncomfortable. But I have moaned about this quite a lot to Arthur and the team, and they have got some ideas up their sleeve. That could make all the difference, but that's yet to be seen, and that's why I'm waiting. I'm waiting on that final production unit. But if, say, you are a predominantly MSFS flyer or GA sim flyer, I've no idea about VR chat, Beat Saber, all that kind of stuff. Sorry if you're watching this and you're not a flight sim fan, but that's what this channel is about. But if you're not really bothered about DCS World so much, even though I must admit this looks amazing in DCS World as well, then I do feel the VR1 is the better headset, because the visuals in MSFS versus the XR4, it's better, it's sharper, it is definitely sharper at similar PPD levels, and you get better performance with this as well, which is interesting. I think some of that is because there's more settings you can change, like the field of view. I can call that back to about 120 degrees, which is still good, still really good, and that way I can save performance. There's lots of things in the software with the VR1 that you can change, and I do feel it is better than the Vario for that as well. But I'm not going to go into that in too much depth here, because there's a lot to unpick, and I am going to make a dedicated XR4 versus Somnium VR1 a Battle of the Titans video very soon to really clear up everything. So anyway, let's get back to the pricing, because that's what this video is about, and I do tend to go off on a tangent sometimes. The Ultimate Edition gives you mixed reality. That is 12 megapixel cameras, 2 of them, and they do look absolutely phenomenal, as you've probably also seen. With that you get custom masking options, which you also don't get in the XR4 that I'm aware of, and it's going to get even better than that, because this is amazing guys. I'm blown away with how much the VR engineers and Arthur has listened to me and my moans because they really have. I've been quite hard on them at times, and they're adding new features, one of which is going to be you'll be able to mask out your own mixed reality mask using the hand tracking in real time. So imagine I'm flying along here now and I just cut out with my hand a perfect representation of my panel or flight yoke or whatever. That is pretty damn mind-blowing, isn't it? Now, it's not until you think about things like that, you think about the crazy quality control that they're going to go through. They're going to check, apparently anyway, each display before it goes out for dead pixels and Mura. And they are going to be chucking out quite a lot of their displays. Things like it is made in the European Union. You do get very good support. And of course all those features that I've mentioned in previous videos and what I've just said now with, say, the pass-through, the crazy amounts of software customization options you have, the open source nature of the headset, you have access to all the sensors, the modularity of it as well, you can 3D print parts and all that kind of thing. It starts to, well, not justify, because I still feel it's very expensive, guys, for most people out there, but it does make you realise that if you compare this to anything else, well, actually, there's nothing else on the market that does what this does. Not really. The only thing that comes close is the XR4, and that's a similar price point. So anyway, I thought I'd make a quick video about the pricing. I wish I could go into it in more depth, but it's been a very long day. I wasn't actually going to make a video today, but I just had to get this one out there. Let me know in the comments what you think about the Somnium VR1. I think it's going to be probably polarised in opinions. There's going to be people out there that are going to be like, that's too expensive, no chance, I'm not buying that, forget it. The Quest 3 is better. Which is ridiculous, but there is going to be those comments, I know there is. Then there's going to be the people out there that actually understand the technology behind this headset, the longevity, the build quality, the, I guess, independency of the manufacturer as well. The fact that all of the components are made in-house. All the research and development when it comes to the eye tracking and hand tracking, all that is developed in-house. So all of that does come at a cost. Monty is now squeaking the tennis ball. Sorry guys, I think he's clearly getting bored of my voice. Don't blame him. So before I go, just to recap on some of the things I don't like at the moment. I've said this loads of times, but just to keep this nice and balanced in case you think I'm being sponsored by Somnium, which I'm not. The VR1 right now is quite heavy, as I've mentioned, and that's why I'm using the Apache strap. However, as I've said already, that is being looked into, and I'm quite excited about the developments with that one. I also feel with the warping profile at the moment there is a bit of distortion. There is, I can see it, but that can be easily fixed, I'm glad to say. What else? There's no integrated audio, which, you know guys, I love that. At the time of recording, motion reprojection isn't really working that well, but again, this is a prototype, things will change. Local dimming isn't that great at the moment, that's going to change. Chromatic aberration, well, this is actually the best I've seen of all aspheric lens headsets, so it's not really an issue, but if you're sensitive to it, well, you may see it. And the strap itself, I do feel it should have a better strap for the money. But again, I think a lot of people who are buying VR1s are probably going to change it anyway, because you can change so many things about this headset. Anyway folks, thank you so much for watching as always. Please feel free to subscribe. Love to hear your thoughts on this one. But for now, I'm going to land this beautiful Cow DA42, which by the way has just had an update, and the model is, well, it's been massively improved. It's now really detailed. You can see chips and scratches, you can see insects splat all over it, all the placards and warnings, and the screws and everything. It's just so incredibly detailed, and in this headset, as I'm completely wrecking my approach, you can see every single detail. I do feel, and I will go after this because I am rambling loads today, I do feel that regardless of headset development, and there are headsets coming with 50 ppd panels like the Pimax Super, I do feel this headset is going to be quite relevant for quite a while, because it's not just about the raw specifications, it's actually about how well it works. It is super reliable. That's one thing that has blown me away. The software is super reliable. It hasn't put a foot wrong, and this is a prototype. But in terms of the visuals, it just has that extra crispness, that extra cleanness to the image. It's so clean and crisp that I haven't really seen in any other VR headset. So it does defy its specs in that case. Anyway folks, that's it from me today. Thank you so much for watching as always. I truly appreciate it. Please feel free to subscribe. I'll see you again very soon. Bye bye for now.